Good afternoon. I am Alicia Hall Campbell with the National Food Service Management Institute, and I would like to welcome you to the Team Up Thursdays webinar with our partnering allied organizations. NFSMI, along with the Applied Research Division, has collaborated with USDA to develop Team Up for School Nutrition Success, which is a unique learning experience that serves to enhance schools' food operations by providing tailored technical assistance to school nutrition programs that want to maintain a healthy environment and a student meal program participation. As a follow-up to our pilot workshop in November, we have launched a monthly webinar series as a platform to further enhance partnerships and to provide an opportunity to all school nutrition professionals to discuss issues and provide solutions and best practices districts are using in key areas. Before we begin, we're very excited to announce that coming soon, the National Food Service Management Institute will be known as the Institute of Child Nutrition. The same information with the new name, so please watch out for that. We're expecting to launch that on July 1st of this year. So the Institute of Child Nutrition. NFSMI has created a website that will feature all materials and resources specifically related to the Team Up for School Nutrition Success. You can find the information at www.nfsmi.org/teamup. Today's webinar will feature representatives from 7 national allied organizations who will discuss their organization and available resources for school nutrition professionals. Each panelist will introduce themselves. During today's webinar, all attendees are muted. We will read questions and have each presenter respond following their respective presentations. Please type questions into the question box located on the right-hand side in the tab and allow the panelists and address the panelists by using their name or organization when inquiring about a topic or issue. On today's call, we have Jill Camber-Davidson with the Action for Healthy Kids, Stephanie Joyce with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, Christy Anderson with the American Heart Association, Molly Pelzer with the National Dairy Council, Jessica Duns-Black with the Pew Charitable Trust, Patty Montague with the School Nutrition Association, and Andrew Marshall with the United Fresh Produce Association. So at this time, we're going to turn it over to Jill Camber-Davidson with Action for Healthy Kids.
Good afternoon. I am pleased to join this call and share with you a little information about Action for Healthy Kids. As I was introduced, my name is Jill Camber-Davidson, and I am a school program manager at Action for Healthy Kids. What is Action for Healthy Kids? We are a national grassroots partnership created to address the epidemic of overweight, undernourished, and sedentary youth by focusing on changes in schools. We partner with a legion of dedicated volunteers, teachers, students, moms, dads, school wellness experts, public health, and more to create helpful school changes. We believe that everyone has a part to play in ending the nation's childhood obesity epidemic. We provide programs and services and also lead advocacy efforts in schools. I wanted to share with you today something called our success equation. At Action for Healthy Kids, we believe that every kid can be healthy, and this is what we work for. Simply put, this is our success equation. Good food plus active bodies equals kids equipped for success. How do we put that success equation in action? One area that we work in is the school nutrition environment. There are many opportunities in schools for students to learn and practice healthy behaviors, and this is where they learn about nutrition and healthy eating, physical activity, and chronic health conditions. Action for Healthy Kids will work with schools to align what is being taught with the health practices in the school and the community. In particular, how schools support student activities and foster a healthy school environment is important to us. A healthy school environment includes nutrition education, nutritious school foods, daily opportunities to be physically active, programs to promote wellness, healthy fundraising, and school-wide support of these efforts. We have state team staff that work directly with schools, including the staff, parents, and students. And nationally, we provide grants, including breakfast and physical activity grants, technical assistance, and resources to schools directly to help achieve healthier school environments. We also host webinars and in-person trainings, and we work with many partners to achieve our success. want to share a little bit about the resources that we have available free online on our website, which you see the address here. And these resources are things that can be used by teachers, parents, and health professionals in their daily work as they promote healthy behavior. We have materials, toolkits, and grants that also are listed on our resources. And our state coordinators in 23 states, as I mentioned, can offer additional support and direct you to the right place to go. One such resource that we have on our webpage and on our resource clearinghouse is our tip sheets. And this is our tip sheets on fundraisers that were just updated. You'll find a whole amount of these tip sheets in our parent toolkit, as well as different information that is sorted by topic, by age group, and by venue that you can download and use for free. In addition, we partner with other organizations to provide input and content expertise. Recently, we worked with CDC on their water toolkit, and we have an upcoming parent toolkit that CDC is putting out that we have worked with as well. One other free resource on our website is our Action for Healthy Kids Wellness Policy Tool. And this is a 7-step process that walks you through the policy process from beginning that team building to communicating the results. And with this policy, you just click on the different icons and resources and tips come up to help you through the entire policy process and implementation. Here is an up-close look at that wellness policy tool. And this is also a snapshot of a training piece that we'll be coming out with very closely, or very soon, that you will work very closely with others to really investigate the policy process. Additional resource we have, the Learning Connection. This is just another example of a report that we have available free on our website that you can share with administrators and others to really get them on board for that healthy environment. And lastly, we are working closely with CDC to adapt the School Health Index as another tool for our schools. And this is a way to assess the environment. And we are working on an online assessment tool that will also have reports and resources linked directly to the responses to your questions or answers that you put for the School Health Index. And this adapted version includes the cross-cutting nutrition and physical activity, physical education questions. So thank you for allowing me to share a real brief little update in terms of what Action for Healthy Kids does. Here is our website and my contact information. And check out the website today. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. It doesn't appear that we have any questions. So at this time, we will move to Stephanie Joyce with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today. I hope you all can see my screen. So my name is Stephanie Joyce. I'm a National Nutrition Advisor with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. The Alliance is an organization that was formed from the American Heart Association and the Clinton Foundation, charged to reduce the prevalence of childhood obesity and to help support schools and out-of-school time sites with creating healthier environments for youth. So I'm really excited to be here today to share specifically some of our food and beverage resources to support you all in your work. First, I'm going to share our website. If you want to visit all of our resources, it's at schools.healthiergeneration.org. And once you visit this website, you're going to be able to, it will take you and connect you to all of our resources that we have to support schools. First, when you visit, you'll be able to check out our resource database. So once you get to the page on the very top bar, you're going to see resources is one of the first tabs that you can click on. Our resource database houses resources that we've created ourselves, but it also includes resources that we've vetted and have approved from other organizations to include in our database. And so you're able to select from a variety of healthy eating and physical activity topics, so whether it be breakfast and lunch, healthy celebrations, healthy fundraising, non-food rewards. You can click on the different topics and sort through just the resources that meet your needs. Several other pages that we have dedicated specifically to food and beverages. So this would be our snacks and beverage page and our breakfast and lunch, both of which you can access from our schools page that I mentioned earlier. So when you come to the breakfast and lunch resources, this is a screenshot of what you'll find. And here is where we have links specifically to recipes and menus to help support breakfast and lunch programs. And we also have menus that we have created for snack, supper, summer lunch, and we also have a breakfast menu in particular that we've come up with in collaboration with the School Nutrition Association. We have purchasing resources to help support you in these endeavors, so making sure that you can find the right foods to meet your needs for your meal programs, but then also making sure that you can buy those particular foods at a price that works well for your school. We have resources to support production, so making sure that staff are prepared with culinary techniques and understanding how to use the correct kitchen equipment, as well as how to promote and market your program. So really making sure that you're not just serving healthy foods of great quality, but the kids are coming in and want to eat these meals and are looking forward to it and are spreading the word about how great your meals are. We also have a page that supports snacks and beverages, like I mentioned. So that is a website that you can visit by going to healthiergeneration.org/SmartSnacks. And on this page, you're going to find a bunch of tools and resources that we have packaged in our Smart Snacks Toolkit. So this is a step-by-step guide to help schools with implementing the USDA Smart Snacks and School Nutrition Standards. Some of the resources that you'll find on this page, we have organization tools to help you do a venue survey to find out where all the areas in your school that are selling foods and beverages individually. In terms of, we also have food and beverage inventory sheets to make sure you're tracking all the individual items that are being sold. And we also have marketing and promotion materials that you can use. These are easily downloadable and things that you can feel free to edit to meet your needs, or you can take them straight from what we have created. So these are social media posts that you could use, sample morning announcements, newsletters for parents, staff, and teachers. We also have some ideas on how you can engage youth in making sure that they are buying into the great work that you are doing and the implementation of Smart Snacks. So some of these pieces include how to host a taste test, a focus group, or even getting a youth advisory council to help influence and inform your program. So two of our most popular tools that I'm sure many of you are familiar with are Alliance Smart Snacks Calculator. And this is hopefully designed to help take the guesswork out of, does my item meet Smart Snacks or not? So if you will use the calculator, you're going to make sure that you have your ingredient statement and your nutrition facts label. In particular, it's going to walk you through a series of questions asking what is the first ingredient to your item. And it's also going to ask for the nutrition information straight off the label. And one thing you'll also want to note too is making sure that when you are entering bulk items into the calculator, one of the newest revisions that we have done has made sure that you no longer have to do the math to make sure it's for the entire package as sold. So on the flip side of that, when you're entering bulk items, you'll want to make sure that you're entering it for each individual item as it is sold to students. One of our second most popular tools is our Products Navigator, and this is a catalog of products that we have already vetted and reviewed and confirmed that do indeed meet Smart Snacks. So hopefully this will allow, once you've added things into the calculator, if you have any non-compliant items, you could browse the Navigator to find an acceptable substitute. And the last resource that I'll mention is our training center. Once you log into our web page, these are all free resources, but you will have to create an account. And when you log in, you'll be able to see training opportunities. And we have an online training center that hosts virtual on-demand learning opportunities that you could download or just log in, and you're able to share these with staff. If you had any parent meetings, if you want training with your food service staff, or perhaps if you're going to speak at a school board meeting or administrators and you want to talk about why this work is so important, we have a variety of healthy eating and physical activity topics covered in these. And so you are welcome to go ahead and log in and take advantage of them. And lastly, I'll mention our National Nutrition Advisors. I have the pleasure of working with Carol Chong and Jill Churley in influencing this work and helping to support schools and out-of-school time sites. So please do feel free to reach out to any of us, whether it might be just a question, or if you're looking for a resource, or if you want to talk through a particular challenge or scenario you've encountered. We can also offer free training for staff. So we are available, and we hope that you'll reach out. Thank you so much for letting me share these resources with you today, and I'll accept any questions.
Sure, Stephanie, we have one. The question is there a listing for group purchasing organizations?
We don't have a list of particular group purchasing organizations, but we do have a resource under the procurement piece of the school breakfast and lunch once you clicked on that one. We do have a resource on how to organize and work with a GPO.
Okay.
All righty. I will go ahead, and in the interest of time, hopefully we can catch up. Thank you for providing this time for us to inform you about the resources that National Dairy Council and your local dairy councils have provided to assist school nutrition professionals. My name is Molly Pelzer. I'm from Midwest Dairy Council, but I'm representing all dairy councils that support you and your school districts. National Dairy Council is celebrating our centennial in 2015 with a salute to dairy farmers' 100-year commitment to child health and wellness. We are excited to have a new logo designed to take us into our next 100 years. You can see that in the top right-hand corner of the slide. National Dairy Council provides science-based nutrition information to health professionals, educators, school nutrition directors, industry, consumers, and media. You can find our latest information and resources at the National Dairy Council website. You see that at your screen, nationaldairycouncil.org. There are 18 local dairy councils across the country. Our staff is comprised of registered dietitians, school nutrition specialists, chefs, nutrition research and communication experts across our country. We want to be a resource for you. One big change for all the dairy councils in the last few years has been to become active on all social media channels. Please join the conversation on Twitter, Facebook, and our blog, The Dairy Report. And you can see those social media properties on your screen. I'd mentioned on the last slide that there are dairy councils across the country. This map shows the 18 dairy council regions. Midwest Dairy Council, where I work, serves the 10 states represented in the large green section in the middle of the country. You can find your own local dairy council's contact information at the National Dairy Council website under the Contact Us area at the very top right-hand side of the landing page. There's a nifty tool called the Dairy Council Locator after you click on the Contact Us link. We hope many of you are already familiar with your local dairy council staff. If you haven't visited with us in a while, we'd love to reconnect. The first resource I'd like to share with all of you from National Dairy Council is Fuel Up to Play 60. Fuel Up to Play 60 was developed by National Dairy Council and the National Football League in collaboration with USDA. Fuel Up to Play 60 is the in-school program developed for youth, with youth, that empowers students to take charge in creating a healthier school. The youth engagement of Fuel Up to Play 60 is one thing that makes the program so unique. The program encourages students to make a difference in their school nutrition and physical activity environment and choose good-for-you foods and get active for at least 60 minutes a day. Student leadership is key to the program's success. However, the students can't do this alone. They need your help to execute healthy eating changes and a coach or PE teacher for the physical activity changes. By implementing Fuel Up to Play 60, schools help meet many of the Healthier U.S. School Challenge criteria. We have a handout available to share with you if that's of interest. As I mentioned before, National Dairy Council and your local dairy council are your resource for dairy resources. The Fluid Milk in School Meal Programs white paper was released just this spring and is an in-depth compilation of milk's role in school meals, milk's nutrient contributions, current issues and trends, as well as opportunities. Last month, it was the topic of a congressional briefing in Washington, D.C. We also feature trendy, fun breakfast items that include dairy that meet the school meal menu and nutrition guidelines. The recipes are quick scratch, easy to prepare, designed within school nutrition budgets, and suitable for both grab and go and breakfast in the classroom. With USDA now allowing yogurt to be credited in smoothies for both breakfast and lunch, many schools have been asking for recipes. National Dairy Council has updated our smoothie recipe to include 4 ounces of yogurt, which is 1 meat or meat alternate, and 4 ounces of milk, along with the fruit, for a total volume of 12 ounces. All of these resources can be found at the National Dairy Council website, nationaldairycouncil.org. As we celebrate 100 years of America's dairy farmers' commitment to health and wellness for all Americans, please join us using hashtag NDC100. We'd love to have you use the hashtag too. Send a message to our dairy farmers or share your favorite Dairy Council memory with us at hashtag NDC100. And we hope to see you at a conference in your state, as well as the annual nutrition conference of the School Nutrition Association in July and the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics Food and Nutrition Conference and Exhibition in October. Please stop by and see us. National Dairy Council and its network of state dairy councils offer science-based resources to support your work as school nutrition professionals to provide healthy school meals to students and nutrition education resources too. I'm happy to answer questions.
Hi, Molly. We have one question. What resources are available targeted for children under age 5 years?
We do have resources available at ndc.org for children that are very young. We are excited that the future editions of the dietary guidelines in 2020 will address the health and wellness of America's youngest citizens, and I would invite you to check out that website.
Okay, thank you, Molly. We're going to move back to the American Heart Association. Christy Anderson.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me this time?
Yes, you're good. Go ahead.
Yes? No?
Yes, you're good. You're good.
All right. I got a yes. Thank you. Awesome. That was just a false alarm the first time around, so I'll try to go through very quick. I'm very pleased to be on this call with you all today. Want to talk a little bit about who we are, the American Heart Association. We are our nation's oldest and largest voluntary organization dedicated to fighting heart disease and stroke. We have more than 22.5 million volunteers and supporters, and our mission is simple. It's to build healthier lives free of cardiovascular disease and stroke through funding innovative research, fighting for stronger health policies, and providing critical tools and information needed to save and improve lives. Cardiovascular disease, CVD for short, is our nation's #1 killer. Every single person on this call has been affected by heart disease in some way. It is also our costliest chronic disease, yet 80% of heart disease is preventable through adopting healthy habits such as eating right, getting physical activity, and not smoking. Bottom line for us, our only agenda is to keep people from dying. Like diabetes, unfortunately, cardiovascular disease was once an adult-only onset problem, but it is now a problem in children. Only about 1% of our children meet criteria that is ideal for heart health. 14% of children ages 12 to 19 have elevated blood pressure, also known as hypertension, and 90% eat too much salt. Children are now developing fatty liver disease from too many simple carbs in their diets. And I know all of you know the statistic about 1/3 of kids being overweight or obese. But what's even more scary is that obese children are more likely to become obese adults and suffer from chronic disease. I always harken back to a story one of my cardiologists was telling me that has stuck with me since, and why the American Heart Association is so passionate about healthy school meals. He said, Christy, my practice keeps growing, and those increases in patients are children. But I don't know how to treat them because when I went to medical school, children just did not develop symptoms of heart disease. So healthy school foods is not going to be the silver bullet, but they are a critical piece of the puzzle. I like to say that the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act is the most seminal public health victory for this and future generations. And you guys are doing it. You all are in the front lines of this public health change and will be the impetus to make sure that our children eat nutritious foods and develop these healthy habits that stick with them for a lifetime and bring down those numbers and save lives from heart disease and stroke. As an evidence-based organization, we cannot form a policy unless it's supported by science, and that's how we can help you. We are the voice of science for healthy school food. Some of the things we do, we also help educate on why healthy schools are so critical for children. Some of the things we do include our Simple Cooking by Heart, and where we develop easy, healthy recipes, including those directed for kids. We have our teaching gardens and community gardens. We're in our schools through Jump Rope for Heart. And we have a joint initiative called Voices for Healthy Kids, which aims to make kids healthier through state and local policy. And we do a bit of that in the schools in the school foods arena with Pew, who is speaking to you later in this call. We've also developed, we feel so passionately about school foods, we developed a great new resource, our heart.org/school meals. This new website brings together all the science-based facts, information, and data on child nutrition and school foods. There's a great interactive map so you can know how child health is faring in your state. And my personal favorite, there's a section on featured success stories. We would love to have yours and celebrate all the great work you do. You can go to the website and submit it right there. And now it comes time for the shameless plug. If you want to stay in the loop on what we're doing or take action, you can join our You're the Cure network or follow us on Facebook or Twitter, which are listed there. And I finally wanted to close by briefly addressing the elephant in the room, as so to speak, sodium. Given the stats of what we're seeing with children developing hypertension, we are in a 5-alarm mode over here at the American Heart Association about the amount of salt in kids' diets. So we feel very passionately about this. And the question isn't whether we need to bring sodium down to appropriate amounts. We do. Target 3 goes down to 2,300 milligrams for the entire day, and that's at the upper level. The Institute of Medicine has reaffirmed this. The dietary guidelines for Americans have reaffirmed this. We and other public organizations have reaffirmed this. It will be difficult, but it will save lives because excess sodium is killing us. But that said, we all are well aware that sodium is the last frontier, and it's going to be hard. It's going to take a broad, comprehensive approach from all angles of society. That is why, in addition to champion moderate sodium levels in school meals, we are working with restaurants and food companies to bring down sodium in those foods too. We've provided a ton of materials for you all and are looking for new ideas on different things we can develop that can help you by identifying foods, simple switches, easy switches, working with USDA to identify commodity foods that could be lower in sodium, things of that nature. So from our perspective, the question isn't should we do it, but it should be how we can do it. And we want you to help achieve that goal. And so with that, we ask here, life is why, and I'll end with just saying that my aunt and my grandma is why I do what I do.
Thank you, Christy. We don't have any questions at this time, so we're going to move on to Jessica Duns-Black with the Pew Charitable Trust.
Well, hello, everybody. It's great to be able to join you, and I see there are lots of people, so hopefully we'll whip through these, and then if anybody has more questions, feel free to jump in. I run a program called the Kids Safe and Healthful Foods Project, which is a joint operation of the Pew Charitable Trust and the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. As Christy noted, we also work with the American Heart Association on elements of this work. There's a lot of collaboration from all angles moving forward. So if you want to find any of the things I'm discussing today, you can find almost all of them at healthyschoolfoodsnow.org, or you can always shoot me an email, and I put my email address at the end as well, which is jblack@pewtrust.org, and we'll get you what you need. The Kids Safe and Healthful Foods Project is really focused on exactly what it sounds like it's focused on, ensuring that kids have access to safe and healthy foods in schools. And as those of you who have been in school nutrition for a long time know, just by nature of kids eating school meals, they are typically getting healthier meals than they would otherwise get, be it if they packed them or skipped it completely. So at baseline, we're in a really good place. And our goal has always been, how do we make a good thing even better, and how do we help schools overcome the challenges that they're facing in doing that. The first piece of work that we've done in that area is a lot of research and analysis, and then trying to translate that into practice so that we can actually help people apply it. Research is lovely, but doesn't always lead us all to say, okay, so what? What do I do with that? So when the updated school meal rules were first rolled out in 2012, we did a national survey called the Kitchen Infrastructure and Training Study, or the KITS study. Many of you may have been recipients of that because there was a huge sample size, because not only did we get national data, but we also made sure that we had representative state data. So every state had a huge sample size, and we thoroughly appreciate everybody who filled that out, because it was not a short or simple survey. But the goal behind that was really to get a sense of people's readiness for the updated school meal standards, and then also, more importantly, what were the barriers? What were the challenges? Because that's what we're going to have to work on if this is really going to be doable over the long term. And one area that was identified and that we explored really deeply was the issues around equipment and infrastructure and training, and found that although the vast majority of schools said, yeah, we're going to meet these standards, like we're going to do it, but we're going to have to use some workarounds, or this isn't going to be as efficient as it otherwise could be, or it may be more expensive than we would like it to be, or than reimbursement necessarily compensates for. And so we've continued a deeper dive into that issue. Where are the challenges, and then how do we mitigate those challenges? So we've published a number of reports in this arena, but we also did a problem-solving convening with school nutrition directors, industry, government, nonprofits, foundations, others coming together a couple summers ago to say, how do we address this? If there's millions and millions of dollars of need nationally, and many of you could probably list the things you need in your districts and schools, not all of that is going to magically appear. How do we do it? And so we do have a whole report from that meeting, which really gives recommendations at the local, state, federal level for sort of how the different stakeholders can play a role in this process moving forward. And I encourage people to take a look at that if that's something you're dealing with. But we also work to make sure that there are more resources made available more broadly. So for instance, that the federal government appropriates money in this particular place, which we are glad that they have done the past several years and will hopefully continue to do on that front, so that at least there is some grant funding available. We actually have another study in the field in the near future that will kind of continue to explore the issues of barriers and opportunities to mitigate those barriers or to move forward, because we recognize that's just a really important piece of the puzzle. If you have heard of the Pew Charitable Trust prior to talking to me, it might be because you were watching TV or listening to NPR and you heard them say, brought to you by the Pew Charitable Trust. But what they might have been talking about more specifically was polling. Pew does a lot of polling, and we've done a lot of polling in the area of school nutrition, and generally have found, people care a lot about children's health, and they're worried about a number of issues in that frame, but childhood obesity is certainly among them. And then, not surprisingly, they really do value the idea of kids having access to healthy foods. And so I think one thing that these polls have really demonstrated, and we have national polls and we've done polls in a variety of states. And again, you can find it all on our website. We always release the entire poll and all of the answers so that it's completely transparent in terms of what we looked at. But the polls have also turned up, I think, some interesting things from an implementation point, like that parents really do value nutrition education, and that's something we need to be thinking about more broadly. How do we get schools to incorporate this? How do we make sure that the classroom is reflecting what we're doing in the cafeteria so that there are consistent messages moving forward and the kids are being encouraged to really participate in the programs? We've learned that parents do see value in the changes and improvements that have been made, but perhaps the most interesting finding is that many parents really don't know what's happened. And in fact, in many cases, they haven't actually been in the school cafeteria in the past year. 2 out of 3 parents on our most recent polls say they haven't eaten a school meal in at least a year. And to the extent they've heard of changes, improvements, challenges, they've heard it through the media. And that might be local media, but in many cases it's national media. So they may have very little insight as to what's really going on in their kids' schools or in their communities. And I think this presents a great opportunity for marketing, that in some cases it's closing that gap between what parents think is happening or what they think might be happening and what's really happening. There's some amazing work going on and some really delicious meals that I certainly wish was available to me on a daily basis when I go into school cafeterias. So we put together this cute little video that you can find online that we've shared. We've worked a lot with National PTA and other organizations to try to promote this idea of school meals are a great opportunity for all kids, and we want to really increase participation in them for families across the income spectrum. There's no easier, less expensive way to get such a healthy meal, and the more that students participate, we know obviously that's better for school budgets. It's better for school food service operations, but it's also really better for those kids' health. And science backs that up as well as anecdotes. And so one of the things we've been encouraging parents to do is plan a lunch date. Go with your child to school and really see what's available and make sure that you're aware of the changes, the progress, the what's happening, but also to the extent there are obstacles, then parents can become allies and advocates in that space too. If you need more equipment, if you need, better lighting in the cafeteria, if kids need more time on their meals, those are things that parents can really pick up the ball and advocate for at the district level. That may not be something that the nutrition department necessarily can do independently or can do because of other sort of political context. So it's a place we really encourage people to market the programs to parents and to have them be sort of part partners in this moving forward, because we know they can also be a bit of a challenge depending on the situation. And then the last piece of the puzzle that we've spent a fair amount of time on is implementing the smart snacks side of the equation. We started way back before the rule was even finalized, doing a health impact assessment and looking at what the potential health impact and what the potential budget impact of updated competitive food standards would be on the national level, and then really trying to translate that into, okay, how do we get this done? And how do we get it done broadly, not just in the cafeteria, but also make sure that other elements of the building are cooperating, and we recognize that school nutrition doesn't always have authority to govern the rest of the school environment, but that it's important the rest of the school environment is bought in. So we've been working on that and developing resources in that arena, and also trying to engage those other stakeholders in that process. So come visit us. You can find our work at healthyschoolfoodsnow.org. You are welcome and invited to follow me on Twitter at jdonzieblack_Pew, and I will hopefully be able to follow you back. Shoot me a note and encourage me to do that. I love following schools and all the great work that you're doing. If you're tweeting about your menus and the things going forward, we've noticed that those schools that really market their programs and speak positively about it, that try to frame the changes they're being made in a positive way, have had a lot more success in terms of growing participation and inviting families into the conversation. So we encourage you to do that. And if you want to talk live and you'll be at ANC, I encourage you to come to one of the two sessions that we'll be doing, one on Sunday the 12th around training needs. We'll be rolling out a report on the whole issue of training and technical assistance and professional standards and those things right around that time. And then on Wednesday with Stephanie from the Alliance, we'll be talking about smart snacks, and that should be a really fun, interactive, how do we problem solve, troubleshoot, any challenges that folks are facing in that arena. So come see us. And with that, we'll turn back to questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Jessica. We don't have any questions at this time. So we're going to move to the School Nutrition Association. Patty Montague.
Good afternoon, everyone, from the School Nutrition Association. Right now, SNA is committed to training, education, and professional development of school nutrition professionals, including our more than 56,000 members. And we're focused on helping them implement the new USDA professional standards. We're working very hard to help them understand the new standards and meet their annual training hours for professional development. We're working closely with USDA and collaborating on the many resources to help our members and all of those in school nutrition. We held a webinar with USDA back earlier this spring to help ensure the SNA community is aware of the changes, the implications, and resources available to help our members implement the guidelines. We've developed an easy-to-read summary of the requirements and some FAQs, and we created an easy-to-use and follow professional standards training guideline, which will be available in June. And right now we're beginning to code all our professional development programming and training with the professional standards codes when applicable. And this includes webinars or education sessions, as well as professional development articles that are in the magazine. SNA provides our members and non-members throughout the country with opportunities, professional development, education on a variety of topics and issues in school nutrition, and many of our allied organizations who are on the call today participate in these opportunities as well. SNA offers 3 levels of certificates in school nutrition. The program is based on standards of practice in 4 key areas: nutrition, operations, administration, marketing, communication. And effective July 1, the program will be even more aligned with the USDA Professional Standards Annual Training requirements. 4 conferences held throughout the year provide additional detail and intense learning opportunities ranging from leadership development to advocacy and webinar participation in some of the most important hot topics facing school nutrition professionals. Our magazine and journals advance professional development through the dissemination of important cutting-edge best practices and research in the field of school nutrition and management. SNA members have access to a variety of online resources that enhance their professional development in school nutrition. Among them are our successful Wednesday webinar series. Over 20,000 school nutrition professionals have their SNA certificate in school nutrition. Our School Nutrition Specialist Credentialing Exam, which tests people's knowledge and expertise in the 4 key areas, and those who pass can use the designation of the School Nutrition specialist, and the exam is being finalized, new exam, and will be offered at our annual national conference. And also our Keys to Excellence self-assessment and benchmarking program, again, tied to 4 key areas that provide district directors with immediate feedback on how their program performs against best practices. In addition, more than 6,000 school nutrition professionals, allied organization representatives, state agency representatives, and industry will join us this summer in Salt Lake City in July at our annual national conference. And we have over 90 education sessions planned there, again, in the 4 key areas. 3 other important conferences that we hold throughout the year where we often have allied organizations also present. Our National Leadership Conference that provides current and future state and national leaders with the opportunity to learn critical information about successfully leading a nonprofit organization and to network with other leaders from around the country. Next year it will be held in Baltimore in April. The School Nutrition Industry Conference, which provides attendees an opportunity to come together to build successful partnerships to better serve the nation's school children. And this will be held next January in San Diego. We expect more than 500 attendees. And then our Legislative Action Conference, where members, allies, and advocates come together to help shape and define the national policy relating to school nutrition. And attendees have opportunities to meet with legislators on Capitol Hill. And of course, we have our flagship publication, School Nutrition. We welcome contributions to the magazine that showcase examples of how great strategies are successful. And we also welcome any published research that you and your colleagues would like to contribute to this and other journals and magazines, or even our poster sessions at ANC. And of course, SNA has a variety of communication vehicles to help get the word out to our members and to all others. Our website, www.schoolnutrition.org. We have monthly e-newsletters, we hold snack chats, and we do blast emails. And so I invite you all, you could follow us on Twitter at School Lunch, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and I hope to see you all in Salt Lake City this July. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty. We don't have any questions at this time. So we're going to move to our last panelist, Andrew Marshall with the United Fresh Produce Association.
Hi there, Alicia. Can everybody see my screen? Alrighty. Like Alicia said, this is Andrew Marshall from the United Fresh Produce Association. We're very excited to be a strategic partner for the USDA and FSMI Team Up for School Nutrition Success. The United Fresh Produce Association is a trade association with member companies throughout the produce industry supply chain, representing growers, fresh cut processors, produce wholesaler distributors, retail grocers, all the way through major food service operators as well. And we are committed to helping schools successfully implement the new nutrition standards around fruits and vegetables, both educating our produce industry members about those new standards that are in place, what types of specific fruits and vegetables schools may be looking for, meeting those vegetable subgroups, and also fostering those collaborative relationships between the produce industry and school nutrition directors in their various communities. Also, we are advocates. We're based in Washington, D.C., so we work very closely with USDA and FSMI and other allies in town to, again, support schools' ability to provide more fresh fruits and vegetables to their students, whether that's through the National School Lunch Program, School Breakfast Program, those schools that have the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Snack Program in schools, or also we work on policy related to increasing children's access and people's access to fruits and vegetables through other child nutrition programs like the WIC, Women, Infants, and Children's Program. In terms of our work on child nutrition, we are one of the founding partners of Let's Move Salad Bars to Schools, and I'm going to talk about that shortly. Let's Move Salad Bars to Schools is one of the sub-initiatives under the First Lady's broader Let's Move campaign, and the goal is to increase children's access and consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables by donating salad bars to schools nationwide. And we are working with our produce company members, with healthcare foundations, other foundations, allied businesses to support salad bars for schools that are looking to use them as a strategy for implementing the new nutrition standards, which, as everybody on the call knows, requires an increase both in the amount and variety of fruits and vegetables that are offered on the meal on the school lunch line. We've got a website where school food service directors can go apply and request salad bars. The website is on your screen here at www.saladbars2schools.org. And we also have a variety of resource materials on the website for schools that are looking to pilot a salad bar, don't know where to begin, but know that they want to be using this strategy to encourage more kids to participate in their meal program, and to also show parents in the community that they are serving healthier school meals. And at the end of the day, it really is all about making sure our children have access to healthy, fresh fruits and vegetables every day at school. And again, the website saladbars2schools.org is where we know schools that are requesting salad bars. And to date, Let's Move Salad Bars to Schools has donated salad bars to 4,000 schools across the country, benefiting more than 2 million students every single day. Why salad bars? You know, I mean, I think that's just one question that we get asked from some of those who may be on the fence. But obviously, it's an easy way for schools to offer students the variety. It's a way for students to learn plate portioning, in a sense that they get to take what they want and then eat what they take. And again, as I mentioned before, it's a way to merchandise a school lunch program that puts a focus on fresh fruits and vegetables, that puts a focus on healthy food, and hopefully drives more participation into the school lunch line. We heard one school food service director tell us that having that salad bar, more than anything else, it was really a visual representation of her school district's efforts to serve healthier school meals. And I think that that was just a really well thought out statement that that child nutrition director had. Another big thing about salad bars too is that it's empowering our students to be able to make their own healthy choices. It's no longer somebody telling them, telling a student, this is all we have today, or today's vegetable is carrots, today's vegetable is broccoli. It's your choice of broccoli, carrots, garbanzo beans, or tomatoes. And we're giving kids the option to make a variety of healthy choices, a healthy choice from a variety of different healthier choices. And again, getting back to what everybody is very concerned, very focused on these days, the new nutrition standards, and making sure that we can have each student select at least a half cup of fruit or vegetable when they're going through their lunch line every day. And when students have a wide variety of fresh fruits and vegetables for them to choose from, they're encouraged to choose those items, and getting to that half cup minimum requirement is not a big deal. Also, what we do as part of our role as an advocate for child nutrition and increasing children's access to fresh fruits and vegetables, we gather best practices. Those are best practices from school food service directors from all across the country that are doing a great job with encouraging their students to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables, to getting the community involved, to getting their produce distributor involved, to say, we work with you, we're buying all this fresh fruits and vegetables during the year, how can you help us promote our own lunch program? Work with your produce distributor. Our industry is very committed to working with schools, and United Fresh Produce Association is going to continue to push that message with our members so that they understand more what schools need from our industry. Again, the next slide, again, some more best practices on increasing children's fruit and vegetable consumption. And this is something that we share at the different Team Up sessions where we've presented in the past. In addition to some best practices, we've got additional resources that we provide to schools, one of which is connecting schools with produce distributors and fresh cut processors in their area. School districts that may be writing their produce RFP but don't know who to send it out to. A couple weeks ago, I got an inquiry from a school district that had the fresh fruit and vegetable program, but the distributor that they were currently using was not able to put fresh fruits and vegetables in a single-serve prepackaged portion that they needed to have when it was delivered to the classroom. A resource we were able to provide there was These are all the produce distributors and fresh cut processors in your area, so when you go out to do your RFP, you know the university of produce companies that are around you. Again, as I mentioned, that we really want to engage more with the school food service audience. The last several years, we've been inviting school food service directors to participate in the annual United Fresh Produce Association convention. And our show is coming up in June this year, and we anticipate over 50 leading school food service directors to be in attendance to share best practices, talk about, quite frankly, what some of the issues is that they're having, how our industry can better help them. We're connecting schools, just like on this webinar, making schools aware about Let's Move salad bars to schools. And those schools that want to do salad bars but maybe on the fence, we're able to connect those schools with some of our Let's Move salad bars to school superstar leaders. Also, again, I talked about making sure our industry understands the nutrition standards, helping us translate those nutrition standards to our produce distributor members so that when all of a sudden they start getting orders from schools about, I need more collard greens or I need more sweet potatoes, they're understanding that, oh yeah, schools are asking for these because of the vegetable subgroups around red, orange, and dark leafy greens. But it's also translating what some of the some of the nutrition standards mean to helping more schools understand what the fruit and vegetable portion of that means. Also, again, to engage more with the school nutrition audience, we do an award every year called our Produce Excellence in Food Service Award. In the last 5 years, we've had a K-12 category recognizing leading school food service directors for the tremendous things that they've been doing around increasing children's access and consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables. So again, United Fresh Produce Association is very committed to working more with schools, wants to engage more with this audience, and the contact information, both for myself and our Vice President of Nutrition and Health, Lorelei DeSober, are right here if anybody has any questions following today's webinar. Thank you so much.
Hi, Andrew. We do have one question. What advocacy and outreach does UFPA do for the USDA Child and Adult Care Food Program?
The Child and Adult Care Food Program is something that we watch closely, but it is not one of the top priorities of the programs that we're looking at, because we're looking more so at the school meal programs and things like that. So I would say that CACFP, obviously recognizing that that's an important program, and fruits and vegetables has a role to play there. But to be honest, we have not been as closely involved as some of our allied partners. And we work with our allied partners, our nutrition allied partners here in Washington, D.C. on that program.
Okay, well, thank you. That sort of wraps up our call for the day. We do have some upcoming events. The Team Up for School Nutrition Success workshops. The Western region will be in San Diego, California, June 16th through 17th. The Midwest in Chicago, July 21st through 22nd. So if you're in that area, please contact your state agency to get nominated to participate in this event. We'll be in Arlington, Virginia, August 4th through 5th for the Mid-Atlantic region. The Mountain Plains region, September 22nd through 23rd in Kansas City, Missouri. Our next Team Up Thursdays webinar will be partnering with the American Heart Association on sodium, and that's scheduled for the last Thursday of every month. And so that will be Thursday, June 25th at 2 o'clock p.m. Central, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And again, this webinar is recorded, and any information related to Team Up for School Nutrition Success can be found at our website, nfsmi.org/teamup. Thank you and have a great day.